How does Shakespeare present Macbeth in the play? Your question in your exam is always going to be about Shakespeare's presentation of a particular character or theme in the play. Now, if it's about Macbeth or any other character in the play, always remember that there is progression and there is development in the character as the play progresses. So in the beginning, there will be a particular presentation of a character that might change towards the middle of the play. And at the end, you would see something completely different. But there's always that sort of progression that you need to remember. Now, there's a very distinct difference between Macbeth as a loyal soldier at the beginning of the play compared to the way he is presented at the end of the play. So in the beginning, Macbeth is presented as absolutely loyal, brave, and honorable. In fact, he's presented as a hero when he comes from the battle, and he is gallant and trustworthy as a soldier. However, he is intercepted by the witches when they prophesize and present him with the predictions for his future. And what happens is that Macbeth lets his self-centered desires cloud his judgment, and then his morality and ethics are therefore compromised in that way. But we see in the beginning he has fought hard and he has been courageous. He has brought honor to his king. He is very trustworthy. Okay. However, we see that there is a decline in his morality when he starts thinking about what the witches have mentioned to him. Hunger for status and power is what leads him on the downward path. Now, let's look at how Shakespeare presents Macbeth's fatal flaw, his hamartia, right? Shakespeare depicts and explores this fatal flaw in Macbeth's character as a weakness that consumes his logical mind, right? Now, this means that Macbeth's inherent moral weakness is an error in judgment, actually, and this is revealed when this temptation of kingship presents itself after he meets the weird sisters, the witches, in other words. And he has this intention of having power that went with kingship, and this overpowering ambition and belief in the witches as well has led him to degenerate from a virtuous and honorable soldier to a very unworthy, criminal-like individual due to the temptation of power, kingship, and status. And Macbeth is consumed by thoughts of the witches and their prophecies. And of course, his fatal flaw arises out of his recognition that his actions are in fact immoral, and yet he continues to follow the path of treachery. So we see that this error in judgment comes from the realization that Macbeth has that what he's doing is actually immoral and wrong, and yet he pursues that path. And this is where we see that he now becomes a tragic hero, right? So that takes us to that next presentation of Macbeth, where he is presented as a tragic hero due to this emotional conflict that he experiences when his sense of morality clashes with the atrocities that he has committed. He's committed many, many crimes. Of course, the worst one is the killing of Duncan. And unfortunately, his power destroys the man that he once was. And by the end of the play, he has become mentally unstable and he has mental deterioration, which ultimately causes his downfall. And in this way, Shakespeare presents Macbeth as a very tragic hero. Thanks, guys. I hope that you found this video useful.